Small hands. Fur Elise is so much easier on narrow keys. Why? Stay tuned. So Fur Elise is one of Beethoven's most popular tunes. Almost every piano player I've met has either played it or wants to play it. And it's just so much easier if you have large hands, which I don't have, on the regular keys. But I have smaller hands and I am playing on narrow keys. And I'm here to tell you just exactly why it's so much more enjoyable and so much easier to learn. Right here I have the score out of the RCM Grade 7, Royal Conservatory of Music, Grade 7 book. And it starts off pianissimo, and it says tempo 132 to 144. Oh my goodness, that's fast. Well, let's just check it out. So I got my metronome right here, and it defaults to 120, so we're going to just bring it up to 140. That's good enough. And the metronome, there's beat 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's peppy. Okay, let's take that off. Now, let's take a look at things that are easier on narrow keys. Like the second bar here. In the left hand, they want us to play an octave. A to A, that's an octave. And if you're doing this big rotation, it's just harder than if you can just think of it as a group of notes all together and just bring them down. We can start with our hand right over those notes. Look at that bar right there. It's a tenth. Now, we don't have to reach the whole tenth. There's a tenth, E to G sharp. We don't have to reach all of that. You can cross over. But again, the crossover, it's really easy. It's not, I can leave my thumb on there and reach that G sharp easily without making my hand off balance. Now, right there is one of the reasons I don't know if I'm old-fashioned or if it's just a harmony that I like to hear, but this, right now, this note right here, there it is. I'm not a fan of that note right there, and I like to save that D, which becomes the 5/7 of 1 to the very end. So I'm going to switch my score up, and I'm going to play from one that's got an E in that bar. So I'm going to use that for the rest of this video. Continuing on, second ending, another octave, another tenth, another easy to reach octave, and now a whole bunch of octaves. And if you can just plop them down so nicely and easily, oh, it's wonderful. And then this is much of the same. Let's see, we'll get down to this next section. Now, right here, remember we're going at 140. It happens really fast. And the chords aren't big, but there's this lovely voicing that happens. This note leads to this note, leads to this note, which leads to, it implies that note, but this is really the melody note. So you're having this lovely, and if your hand isn't stretched and you're going fast, you have the ability to add that voicing. And in the classical world, voicing is the notes that we are bringing out. Another thing, easier to do on narrow keys. All right, right there. we have a beautiful octave in the left hand. And you're coming along in this Alberti bass, modified Alberti bass. It's just it's just over so fast. But it's an octave, and if you're stretching your hand flat out, you can't get that tension and then get rid of it really fast as easily as if you don't have to stretch out. Now, this next bar, not a big stretch, but not a stretch at all on narrow keys. And much the same, all beautiful music. And feeling the shapes under your hand are just so confident producing. Okay, now this section right here, where we have some repeated notes. Right there, we have a lovely big chord. We want to bring out the top note. Right there, another big chord, and that F has to ring out. And if your hand is flat out, it's hard to make that ring out. Again, another, he just touches on an octave. If it's easy to reach, it's easy to play. Next page. More. You want to hear that top note? So easy to do when you can feel the chord easy. 1, 2, off. An arpeggio. Now, this arpeggio, I'm going to give, if you have big keys, I'll give you a little tip right here. And you can also do this on the narrow keys. But when you have, okay, let's just take a look at this view right here. When you have this, and then you have a thumb under, you're actually going across two notes. It's a big stretch. It's not that big a stretch when you have narrow keys. But if you're on big keys and you have little hands, well, you can do this. You can go 2, 3, and then put your thumb under here where there's only one note to jump across. And then you're already here. Put your thumb on the B, and then 2, 3, 1. So it's just another way to finger the arpeggio if you're finding the leaps difficult. And you can do it either way on narrow keys. And on and now we're going to take you down to the end. I just have one more little thing to say about the end. To just soak the harmonic beauty out of that D right at the end there. For the very first time is when I like to play. I'll just play the whole ending for you again and let you feel that D. Because every other time I've played an E there. Octaves at the end, easy. on narrow keys.